Coding Challenge Review Expert, 25th of February. It's interesting because I think it's the very first time that all the questions got already covered and reviewed at some point, right, over the last month. Because of that, I would like to focus in two of them. Why? Because two of the questions, it seems that you struggle a bit more than the others. I'm talking about numbers. Question number 2 and question number 3. Even though at least the third one was reviewed literally last week. But because it looks like there were some issues dealing with it, let's just do it again. So, I haven't prepared anything. And the reason why, as you know, I like not to prepare things, or these kind of things at least, is because if something wrong happens, I think it's a good exercise to see how to debug the issue, right? If I'm doing some coding and everything works perfectly, you know, that's nice to some extent, but it's not very realistic, right? Because in real life, we struggle, yeah? Cool. So let's have a look to the question number 2. Divide each number by the next one. So we got a number, which is a string actually, and we want to return the result of dividing each number with the next one. Yeah, and in the last number, I think we should leave it as it is, right? Yeah, the last element must be returned as it is. Cool. So divide by next number. Let's create a function. Divide by next number. So we receive a number which is a string. So you know I'm a big fan of adding the data type in front of the attribute if it's not what it looks like. So for instance, if I put number, I may get the feeling that's an actual number, right? I can do number plus 1, number minus 1, but that's not a number, that's a string. So before I forget later on, I keep that prefix. So let's try to do it inline and let's see if it works. A string number, first of all, let's split it, right? Let's access each individual number. Then I'll use reduce. And we'll see what to do with reduce in a minute. And then, because we want the number back, let's use join. Yeah, to make sure that we got one element. And finally, because we want to transform the... Correct. Correct. That's right. Because we need to transform it into an actual number. We can either surround everything with number method, or we can follow Mo's approach of adding a plus in front of everything else. Yep. With map, you can make a number. With map, you can make a number. Yes. Would it be possible to do that with join? With join? No, because map accepts a function. Join accepts string. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm using reduce, but we could use map as well, right? I've never used map for these kind of things. Do you want to use map? Do you want to use map? Do you want to do it? No, I think, listen, no, I think it's actually a good point. As I mentioned several times, it's good to try things using different styles, even if you don't feel that comfortable. I don't feel that comfortable using map, to be honest, because I love reduce, but hey, let's do map, right? Because I'll become a better developer if I master map as well. So, with map, you know, we got actually, because we got an array of strings, following what Poppy mentioned before, let's transform it into an array of numbers. Yeah? So then, map. What arguments map receives? First of all, the number, then the index, and then hopefully the array, right? We need the array to divide the number with the next one, yeah? So then, let's return what? So return, first of all, the corner case. If it's the last one, I want to return the number as it is, right? So how do you know if the current number is the last one? Minus 1. I mean, array minus 1. Array dot length minus 1. Like that? That condition feels a bit weird, to be honest. What do we do with the index, guys? Array, square brackets, index. Still got lots of caramels here, huh? So no rush. Take your time.
Where is your fix?
I think actually on Thursday I'm going to bring popcorn or something like that.
Index is equal to this array index.
Okay, index equal array index. Like that? No. Poppy. No. Free equal. Right, free equal. What do you think, Poppy? No, okay. she's very upset. No, it won't work.
Index equals array, and then in square brackets array dot length.
Yeah.
Why is this square? But in square bracket, so it could be like that. Array dot length minus 1
Okay.
is one of them, or you could just put array and then brackets.
Array brackets what?
No, that's fine. Index equal array dot length minus 1.
Yeah, I prefer how it was before without the square bracket.
Okay, can we solve it with using square brackets?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. Tell us. So, 3 points for Poppy if she managed to solve it using square brackets.
It would be. Sorry about taking a while on this thing.
That's all right. Anyone else can help Poppy to solve the problem using square brackets?
I think it's dot length minus 1.
Where? Inside?
No, not the bracket.
Yeah, but she wants to use the brackets, right? See, I think we agree. We agree with that, Isel. If we put a rate of length, that will work. Can we solve it using brackets? Unless anyone has a good idea, my suggestion is no, you can't. That doesn't make sense, right? With the brackets, you can access an individual element, which we'll need now to divide and do stuff, right? But to get the length of the array, the only possibility is to do dot length. Yeah? Right. So if it's the last element, then return the number, right? As it is, as it was. Else, that's the complicated bit. We want to return the result of dividing, I believe, number divided by what? We need to round it. Okay, let's do that at the end. Isel, yes. Let's do the rounding thing at the end. Before rounding.
If it's the next number.
What?
If it's the next number.
Yes. How do we get the next number?
Array square brackets index plus 1.
Yeah.
Correct. I like that. Yes. And then, as Isel was suggesting, the result must be rounded. So how do we round a number in JavaScript?
Not round.
Math,
Round.
correct. Yeah, something like that, right? Actually, that question is very simple for expert, right? I'll try to make it a bit more complicated next time. Unless I miss something obvious. Did I miss anything, guys? So, result must be rounded. Semicolon. Okay, fair enough. Right, we got a semicolon. And another semicolon here, 2 semicolons, right?
Also, are they numbered? These things inside the. Are they already numbered?
Yes.
Because we put plus at the top, yeah?
Yes, because we put the plus at the top. However, we miss one scenario, right? If no data is provided, please return 0. That's a typical thing that I prepare the example, then I say, that's too easy. Let's put the corner case to make it a bit more complicated, right? Because it feels a bit artificial. Anyways, what it is, right? So if we don't have anything, that's interesting, right? Because a string number split that will return.
Inside, between the curly brackets, put the. What do you call it? Square brackets
Yeah? Where? Here?
after the curly brackets.
After the, yeah, here? Where?
No, line number 9.
Line number 9. What?
Inside,
Inside,
square bracket.
inside put the square brackets.
No,
I don't know. Where?
no, because it's empty, right?
Here? What that means, Aisel?
But it's with reduce.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, that only applies to reduce, not to map.
Yeah.
We still have a corner case, right? If it's 0, sorry, if it's an empty string,
You could go type. Not because it's truthfully or false. If it's falsely, then it goes true.
that's interesting. That's interesting. Probably that will work, right? Let's try that. So what Poppy is, what Poppy, not Poppy.
He's missing Luna.
What Poppy is a, I lose the focus absolutely. I don't know what I'm doing now. So Poppy is suggesting to do that, right? Will this work? I'm not 100% sure. Let's debug that. So if we got an empty string, look, empty string dot split that will return, if I'm correct, an array of one element. But then what happened? We're trying to transform empty string into a number. Will that work? That will probably return what? Not a number. Yeah. And if we get not a number, then array one element, it will return not a number, and then it will join it, so it will create a string not a number maybe, which is still truthy. I'm not convinced about that. Let's see what happens, right? Let's try it. Oh, it does work. It does work. Do we need it? Oh, actually, we don't even need it. But yeah, that's the thing, right? So this is a classic example of something working, but I'm not 100% sure why. And because I'm not sure why, so I would like to go to DevTools and then add some breakpoints because I want to see what's going on, yeah? And this is what you should always do, even if the solution works. That's a classic example, right? You do something, you don't really understand why it works, but it works, so you leave it. That's wrong, guys. We should try to understand everything, yeah? At least these kind of issues. So let me zoom the screen a bit. Otherwise you won't see anything, right? Right, that's probably too much. So if I invoke the function passing 6, 3, 1, it works correctly, as you can barely see at the bottom, or not even, right? Yeah. 2, 3, 1, so that works. But now the question is, what happens if I pass an empty string? I'm not sure, to be honest. So as usual, I'm going to add a breakpoint in the middle of the function. I'm going to divide and conquer, right? So if I run it again, that's interesting. I think I know what's going on. Oh, that's a bit tricky. So it works because of the following reason. Because eventually, after mapping everything, we still got an array of an empty string. Because it's an array of an empty string, when we join it, we get the original result back. We have one string, one empty string. What happens if you do plus empty string? Yes? I'll show you. I hope you can see the screen. So if I do empty string, oh, that's the smallest resolution in history, guys. So even though you cannot see anything, I need to zoom out a bit. So if you get an empty string, it returns an empty string, yeah? But if I do plus empty string, it returns 0.
This is the one that let's talk about.
Let's talk about JavaScript. Yeah. Still, you know, what happens if I do plus 1? It will return 1. And if I do plus a, not a number. So why plus a is not a number, but plus empty string is 0? And what plus empty space? Plus space? 0. Yeah, that's true.
But it's false. So binary, right?
But this is not falsy, this is truthy. And space is truthy, because there is something on it. Yeah? So, okay, I could understand the empty string, fair enough, is falsy, blah, 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 but that breaks the rule, right? Because an space is truthy, but it still returns 0. So probably return not a number neither, right? In other words, why a returns not a number, but space returns 0? Yeah, JavaScript. So anyway, it works, right? It's a bit of luck, a bit of coincidence if you want, but it works fine. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I think it's pretty simple, to be honest. Let me have a look to what you did. So Poppy, so she used reduce, right, which was, to be honest, my original approach. Yeah, using numbers explicitly. I'm not against using number. Even though you have to type more, it's a bit more explicit. If I add a plus, yeah, the shorthand, yeah, I'm not a big fan of these things. But anyway, both are equally valid, I believe. Astley, why you put in a space, Astley, between number and the function? Right, so that probably you got a penalty here. Yeah, and also you notice that both Astley and Poppy, they have to transform to numbers all the time. I managed to minimize that. Correct. Before starting, I transform everything into a number, and then, yeah, the code feels a bit more readable.
If you transfer everything number from the beginning, do you still need map, add map number?
Yes, you still need it because, look, at the end, you are joining. Yeah, when you join, even if you have an array of pure numbers, when you join the array of numbers, you got a string. Yeah, so that's why you need to transform the eventual string into a number again.
There wasn't join, it wouldn't.
Say it again.
If you wouldn't need to join them, you wouldn't need to.
If you wouldn't need to join them, if you're expecting an array of numbers, then that's fine. So Megan, Megan, Zeus map, right? So it's very similar to what they did. Look at the way she's transforming to number. You see the pluses all around?
Yeah.
Still okay. I felt it's a bit less readable. It's a personal appreciation. ISIL map, again, transforming to numbers. Something interesting about ISIL. Does anyone see any elegance penalty here? Correct. Even though she did something really well, look at the method round. I think this is very sexy, to be honest. I like it. You see, because she's dividing, because she has two operators, is one on each line. So I think that works really well. However, the entire expression is wrongly indented. Yeah? Look at the ternary. You see the ternary on the right-hand side. The if condition is correct, but the else condition should be aligned to the if condition. Yeah?
That's why I get lots of penalties.
Yes. Yes.
I'll try to fix it by Thursday.
Explain that again, sir.
So you can see there is a ternary operator here, right?
Yeah.
The first condition, a string number, that's correct, because it goes on the right. But then suddenly she decided to stop indenting everything, right? So she moved method around the highlighted text to the left. It should be moved to the right. It should be aligned to a string number. Yeah? Right. It's just readability and penalties on the elegance, right? So that's, for instance, look, Bala did it right. You see, Bala? Because in here, if else, are completely aligned. Yeah? And as you already know, something I'm not a big fan is what type of data a number is.
Where?
In the middle of the screen, the highlighted. That's a string, correct. Number is a string, and array index plus 1 is a string too, right? So we're dividing strings, which is correct because the strings are 1 digit each, so it works. I personally prefer to be a bit more explicit, right? And then Daniel, you see, Daniel, for instance, he is actually converting everything into numbers. Yeah. Using, reduce, number, all good, right? And more, even though most solution is absolutely correct as well, to me, indentation is weird. Look, remember, in my opinion, every time you chain a method on the array prototype, you remember the array prototype? Yeah, all these methods, add the new line. I believe they help readability. Look, split, then map, then join. Yeah. However, most started doing that, split, map. Then he gave up, right? So then map is on the right, and then join is on the right as well. Yeah. Not that elegant, I believe. Anyway, this is what it is, guys. Any question? No? So let's do the last one of the day. Question number 3. Oh, yeah, I'm still. So we solved that, right, recently, and still not sure why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, let's do the next one.
Yeah, next one.
Yeah. Sort by modulus. Yeah. Yeah, let's do the next one. Yeah, right. So next one. First odd, then even. So we have a number. So we want to sort the elements. We want to display the odd numbers first and then the even ones. Yeah. So even though you don't have any excuse because we solved that already. So let's do that again. So function sort by modulus. How many arguments do we receive? 1. It's a number. It's a pure number, right? No string number, no array number. It's just a number. So how can we do that? Yeah, I'm not that sure how to tackle the issue. So I'll try to return everything, even though I'm already smelling this is not a good idea, but I'll try to do it like that. Number dot split, the same story, guys, again. Split. Now I do actually want to use reduce because I want to change the structure a bit. In other words, I want to have 2 arrays, one for the odds and one for the evens. Because once I have that, I can concatenate them, I can sort them, I can do some tricks, right? But first, actually, let me create a variable. You see, I quickly noticed I was not going to be able to do everything in one go. So let group I don't know, group numbers. Is group with 1p or 2p's? 1, correct. So return number.split.reduce. This is from semantics point of view. If I'm creating a variable called group numbers, regardless of whether that's a good idea or not, the accumulator will have the same name. That's for consistency reasons, you see? So that's the same variable name. It's not necessary. You can rename that to Brexit again, right? But I hope we already learned that semantics are an important thing in JavaScript and in any programming language, even in real life, right? If I'm asking you, give me an apple, but I want an orange, the communication doesn't work, right? So reduce group numbers, and then the second argument is a number, right? So the default value, look, I'm going to create an object with 2 variables, odds, empty array, and evens, empty array. And even before looking after the logic inside of the reduce, I'll try to complete the exercise. How? Well, we can do return group numbers dot odds. Yeah, I may regret of doing that, but let's see if that makes sense. So first of all, give me the odd numbers, spread them, yeah? But before spreading, I want to sort them, because I think we need to sort the result, right? Yes. So to sort, we got number 1, number 2. You see, I'm already noticing that was a bad idea, but I'll refactor that in a minute. It's number 1 minus number 2 or number 2 minus number 1? Number 2 minus number 1. Good time, eh? You can think about that. 1 minus 2 or 2 minus 1.
So you need to do from 3, 3, 7. From the small one, yeah?
Yeah. I'll tell you an advice, completely off topic. Never, when you are in a meeting, never start eating caramels, right? Because for you, it looks like something that doesn't hurt. But for people on the other side of the line, if I start doing that, that's completely inconvenient, yeah? So. That was the example. Don't do that, right? Yes.
And YouTube. When we watch it back on YouTube,
Yeah.
we get
Probably yes. Yes.
good job I have it on mute.
Yes.
For that bit.
Right. Because that line is already a bit long and boring, I will create an utility function, right? You know I like to do that. I hope you like that too. Get sorted groups, something like that. So if I do get sorted group, I got the group, and that will return return what? That will return group dot sort and then all these things, right? Because I need to do the same thing twice. I don't want to duplicate my code, right? Something like that, maybe. That's a good point. Yes, it's a good point. Yes, I like that, Daniel. So what Daniel is suggesting, and he's completely right, is why don't we sort everything first? Yes, let's do that. Yes. And actually, even before doing that, I'm going to convert everything into numbers. Even though it's not strictly necessary, because we are dealing with one-digit arrays. But do you remember what happened if we had multiple-digit numbers? Okay. So, what happens if I do 1, 3, 2, dot sort number 1, number 2, return number 1 minus number 2. What will that return? What? 1, 2, 3. That's correct. What happens if we have an array of numbers that in reality are strings? What will that return? Same. 1, 2, 3. But what?
4, for example, or something like that.
4.
And if you put not like 1, 3, 2, for example, 21,
21. Okay, fair enough. Let's put 21. 21, 1, 3, 2.
So it will count 21 as a 2.
So what will be the order?
3.
1, 2, 21, 3. Right. Now Jaap looks like the evil in the movie. Storms, thunder. Yeah. So what we originally wanted to do, and I went a bit far, is doing that. I didn't want to pass any callback function, right? 1, 3, 2 short.
Yeah.
Correct. And then if we do same as strings, yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but I was thinking on the weekend probably. So 1, 3, 2, yeah, that's correct. But now, back to the original proposal of Aisel and Jeff, 21, 1, 3, and 2. That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. So, I mean, still, I'm sure we can do it. We can handle, dealing with the strings. But I find that that's particularly not that elegant. Because of that, I'm going to convert everything into numbers. Yeah? So then, map number 1, number 2, and then I can do number 1 minus number 2, yeah? To make sure the array is sorted ascendingly. So I'm going to get rid of the utility function, and then I will simply what? I will, for now, join first the odds and then the events, right? But I think that's not it. We need to do something else. We need to join it. Yeah?
Do we need to use new set?
New set, that's a good question, Aisel. That's a really good question. It depends. No, not really. Because look, new set makes a lot of sense if we want to remove the duplicates. In this particular exercise, we don't have. Look at the second example. 3 is twice. If we had to remove the duplicates, for sure. Yeah? So, first we spread the odds, then we spread the events, but then we join them all, and then we add a plus, yeah, because we want to transform the result into a number. Does it make sense? If that makes sense, now the only thing we need to do is to work on the reduce, right? So return group numbers before I forget. So now if it's odd, if it's even, right? So how do we know if the number is odd or even?
If number
Yeah?
more than
Yeah?
2
Yeah?
equals 0.
Then what's that?
That's
Even, correct. So if it's 0, then let's push that number to the array of evens, right?
yes.
Otherwise, let's push to the array of odds. Yeah, odds, yeah? Anything else, guys? Did anyone spot any issue?
Numbers, you said up the very first line is going to be a number.
What do you mean?
No, I misread that, sorry. Where you said net root numbers, it's not semicolon, it's just
No.
start.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, I think that should be fine, right? Let's have a look. Oh, whoa, look. So this is a typical thing that you get scared, right? Like, oh, you didn't return anything, right? But in reality, one of the reasons why I tell you look after the elegance is because sometimes the messages make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Type error. Number.split is not a function. We cannot do split on numbers. Why? What do we need to do? Correct.
String.
That's correct. ToString,
Yeah, before go to string.
before splitting, we transform it into string, and now, it works fine with one digit, but look at with the others. You return 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. What's going on? Why we are returning 1 all the time? And in the second case, it's even worse. We don't return anything. What's going on? Yeah? So this is one of the reasons why now let's debug the issue altogether. Yeah? You have to short.
Just for sort.
Ah, I didn't. No. Oh, sorry. I put. Yeah, that's correct. I put map instead of sort, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Nice one, Daniel. Yeah. So now you can see it works without any further elegance issue. So just to finish this session, what you did today here, Poppy, she created a bunch of variables. Something I'm struggling maybe with the indentation, right, of Poppy. She creates a variable result, and then she uses sort, but then concat and join are not correctly indented, right? Poppy?
I don't think it said on the console that had any evidence, actually, so.
Really?
So let me check, yeah.
But okay, fair enough. Even if you don't get any penalty, to me, visually speaking, it feels a bit eh. And
It's a bit weird,
yeah,
it's not consistent. Some of them go down, some of them
Yeah.
go down.
also, instead of using two strings, it's using the string constructor, right? Which is fine, of course. Yeah. Cool. That was Poppy. Who else? Megan. So, for instance, what I like about Megan is after the first two lines, I didn't check what's going on below, but she's clearly telling me that she wants to create two arrays, right? So that will help me to understand the problem, right? An array for odds, an array for events. So then she's using for each, yeah, but that's pretty much the same thing. Instead of using the spread operator, she's using concat, same as Poppy, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Bala, he created a utility function, modify sorted, yeah, and then, yeah, so his first, you see now the problem here is, even though it looks like he's first of all calculating the odds and then the events, I'm struggling to understand that, right? You compare Megan with Bala, so Megan clearly explained odds and events, but Bala called it string 1 and string 2. String 1 refers to the odd numbers, string 2 refers to the even. So in my opinion, for readability purposes, they should be renamed. Yeah, but apart from that, all good. And Daniel, string short reduce, it's pretty much the same thing, right? He's using spread operator, number. Not sure, Daniel, if you got a penalty here on the length of the line. Yeah. I mean, in worst case, if you get a penalty, you can always, you know, move few things to a new line, right? So if, for instance, if you got, oh, I cannot paste it, thanks to the new thingy, but you know, you can divide that. What we showed that before, right? Some of you on the previous example, look at, for instance, what ISAL did, right? So that line would have been very long. Let's see the break line, right, before every operator. So you could actually do the same thing here. Right, so who else? Finally, Mo. Mo, the same thing, right? Even, odd, using map. Oof. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that line, for instance, right? Num plus empty string. You know what is that doing? This is transforming a number into a string. But I don't see the benefit of using num plus empty string against num dot to a string. But again, something personal, yeah? So you can see Mo is reducing the variable names and everything probably to avoid penalty issues, right? Not against that necessarily, as far as the code remains readable, of course. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah. Anything else? No? Cool, thank you very much. See you next time.